Did you know there's more neurons, neurotransmitters, and hormones in your gut than even in your head brain? And what happens is when we get that gut alert and we don't breathe into that gut alert to slow down, to tune in, to observe what's happening before we respond, we will tend to react. The reason is that there is a vagus nerve that goes from the gut all the way through the heart to the head. And when we don't slow down and breathe, that corpus callosum in the brain that acts like a bridge in the brain becomes inefficient. And all that unconscious information goes to the first lobe in the brain, which is called the temporal lobe. And guess what? That's where our emotional reaction center is, called the amygdala. So when we get a gut alert, if it's some situation similar to an event in the past where we had a lot of emotional attachment, we will tend to react instead of respond. Now, what does that mean for decision making? Well, let's just take a simple situation. Let's pretend that when you were younger, you were bit by a dog. Well, if you saw a big dog similar to the dog that you were bit by, guess what's going to happen? Alert, 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 not a safe situation. That's because your unique experience tells you this is not good. Now imagine the same situation with another person, and their experiences where dogs were friendly. They may see a similar dog and they may go up and pet the dog, assuming that the dog is friendly. And who knows what the facts are. So with our gut, what we want to do is we want to use the S.T.O.P technique. We want to slow down and breathe. When we slow down and breathe, we bring up those hormones, those neurons, those neurotransmitters. We open up the corpus callosum in our brain, and guess what happens? We're able to bring it into a part of our brain called the parietal lobe, where we get this aha knowing. That's how we can trust our gut. And this is all science. Now, what are the benefits of trusting your gut? Well, we live from this authentic place where we're aligning our decisions to our own vision, values, and goals. Think of it as the difference between our ego and enlightenment. The ego is that scripted part of us that tells us how we should live our life based on what we learned will make us safe, secure, loved, and belonging. Versus enlightenment, which knows it's raising the level of consciousness in these 5 ways. It's going from unconscious, like, oh, what was that ping in the gut that made me react? That's unconscious. You have no idea why you're stressed out. To fear, self-doubt, and judgment. You know you're in that amygdala. You know you're in that reaction center, but you don't know how to get out. To bring it up to level 3 consciousness, which is self-awareness. Ooh, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that gut alert. I'm feeling that fear. I'm feeling that self-doubt. I'm feeling that judgment. But that's not where I want to reside. That's not where I want to make decisions out of. So I'm going to slow down and breathe. I'm going to tune in. I'm going to become super self-aware. I'm going to put it on the big screen TV of my mind, turn up the volume, and really, really become self-aware of that. And then guess what? We get to choose. That's when we detach. We take that deeper breath. We tune in more. We observe more on what's happening. We become more present, and we detach from that fear, self-doubt, and judgment. And then guess what? We take even a deeper breath into our body, and we ask our intuitive to join us in that gut alert by asking this profound question: how might I deal with this situation that's most in alignment with my vision, values, and goals? Imagine if we all lived our life like that, where we slow down and breathe, we tuned in, we observed what was happening, and then we invited our intuitive to join us in that gut alert by perceiving a possibility where we could respond and align to the life we wanted to create with our how might we question. So stay tuned for our first story, which is on Am I Enough?
Oh my gosh, he expects so much from me. I can't believe it. He always makes me feel like I'm not enough.
The first story really unravels the mystery of this tangled mess between the ego that we've developed and this place within us that can reach enlightenment and this intuitive voice.
You know, boss, I've been thinking, there's certainly a lot to get done around here, and I of course want to do all that I can, but I think it would be wise if we sat down and looked at expectations and timelines so we can agree on what is reasonable. What do you think?
Well, actually, I think that's a very good idea.
New program here, and then detach and let go of the outcome. It's a matter of trusting and allowing the truth to unfold and to know that you are enough to handle whatever comes your way.
Yeah, it's so easy to blame it on them for you not feeling enough. But let's have a little lesson in how to shift from your ego to enlightenment.
Did you know that the only one that can abandon you is you? When we abandon ourselves and we try to adapt, and women are so great at that, people pleasing, overgiving, perfectionism to try to be enough, we are just reinforcing that who we are is not enough.
Yeah, I hear you. My issue is more at home. My guy is really generous financially, but I don't get the attention I need to feel enough. I'm always second guessing myself because he's just not very present.
Instead of expecting them to change, guess who needs to change? The only one we can change is ourselves. It's becoming aware of that unconscious imprint, the norms, the beliefs, the thoughts that you took on who you had to be enough. Instead of being conscious that, this isn't in alignment with who I am and what I want. So what choices do I need to make?
That's exactly right, Susan. When we're attached to getting our validation from somebody else, and we look at them as the one providing our safety, security, love, and belonging, we're going to give our power away. And we're going to try to overplease and overgive and be perfect. And guess what? It'll never be enough when we do that. And it'll leave us feeling like we're not enough.
Okay, I'm going to bring this up to level 3 consciousness. I'm aware something's out of alignment. And I'm going to notice my fear that tells me I'm not enough, and my self-doubt and my judgment that I have to adapt, that I have to overgive, and I have to be perfect in order to get what I want. I'm just going to observe that and bring that up to level 3 consciousness.
You know what? I got to tell you the truth. Once I became self-aware of that unconscious imprint inside that told me I wasn't enough, I could detach from that and become intuitively aligned instead of operating out of my ego that was edging my greatest self out. You know, that underbelly of the ego that acts more needy and dependent on other people to validate our worth. Done with that and on with my life to the clear, calm, confident version of me when I'm aligned to my intuition that guides me to tell me exactly what I need to do or say in each moment to be enough.
Instead of giving her locus of control away, thinking somebody else had the key to her happiness, no, she took that key back. She took that locus of control back and said, guess what? The only one that has the key to that is me. So I'm going to start creating the life I want and get off his back and on with my life.
I've decided I'm going to get off his back and on with my life. That means that I'm going to stop waiting around for him to pay attention to me, and I'm going to pay attention to me.
Because she wasn't operating out of fear, self-doubt, and judgment. She wasn't acting needy. She was exuding more enthusiasm for her life. And guess what? She became more attractive. And he was like, who's that lady here? What's going on?
I'm going to stop waiting around for him to pay attention to me, and I'm going to pay attention to me. I'm going to do that by setting goals in the 8 areas of my life with action steps. What's the worst that can happen? I'm going to create the life that I love, and this or something better will occur.
Do you want to start living your life from that place of higher consciousness?
Once I got my cheetah on and I got on with my life, he began to start chasing me and wondering what I was doing first thing in the morning and when I would be home at night. And I got to tell you, it felt really good.
That's really our first lesson.